His name is Saclier, but he's called Sai. He's Mongolian and Chinese. Born a nomad, he grew up on the steppe beside horses, indispensable for the survival of his people. During that itinerant childhood, he built up an extraordinary relationship of respect and complicity with horses, and formed a deep friendship with them. But one day, just 30 years ago, Sai's life was changed dramatically. To face the rigors of winter in one of the most hostile lands on our planet, Sai's parents chose to abandon their yacht and pastoral life. They built a house on the free lands of their last winter camp and stopped there, in the heart of the Mongolian steppes, in the middle of the desert. Sai's story isn't exceptional. The entire nomad population of Inner Mongolia has become sedentary since half of the country was annexed by the People's Republic of China. The last 60 years of Chinese influence have been enough to make a way of life older than 3,000 years disappear. Sai still raises horses. He owns 50 of the Mongol breed, a breed which has adapted to the harsh climate of the land for thousands of years. They have thick coats, and they're small and hardy, 15 hands high, 1 meter 50 on average. Horses have learnt to know mankind since the dawn of time. They understand humans well, and we know them well. It's easy to get along. Sai regularly makes the rounds of his herds to count his horses and make sure they're healthy. He doesn't give them names, but when he talks about them, he identifies them by the color of their coat or by their personality. Sai continues horse rearing through tradition and makes a minimal profit by selling some of his young horses once or twice a year. Here, I'm teaching them to stay together and to do what I say. They do what they want and go everywhere. When there's no more grass, they move and look for more further off. Nowadays, the Mongols are a minority in their land. They occupy the desert steppes of the north of the region, grouped around small towns. The Mongols haven't resisted the modern world, happy to improve their living conditions. But the Mongol culture is far from similar to those of the sedentary Chinese population, which is invading the country. Sai's story is neither more exceptional nor more tragic than those of other Mongol Chinese who are losing their identity. Only Sai refuses to abandon his farm to live in a small Chinese town. Saclier needs the wide open spaces and his horses. Sai and his family are still herders, raising their animals as they did before. They live simply, to the rhythm of the seasons and the raising of their livestock. The first Chinese investments on Mongol territory were road building, electricity, and phone lines. Sai lives in the far north of Inner Mongolia, near the border with Mongolia. The closest village to his farm is 35 kilometers away, and there is no sealed road to it. His farm is at the very end of the power line. The phone network only works properly in this part of the room. Sai is getting news from his daughter, who is at boarding school in a school at Bayanobo. She's 9 years old, and there is no primary school closer. Later on, if she wants to go to university, she'll have to go to Hohhot, the capital, like all children who must live away from their parents to study. Sai's wife can only come back to the family home in the weekends, since she works for her own parents in a restaurant which is more than an hour away by road. Our Mongol guide and our Chinese driver get to know Sai and his parents. Are there still nomads in the area? No one comes here anymore. All the land is occupied. There's no more free space. Everything has been distributed. In fact, the land was given to the herders, according to the size of their herds. And everyone put up fences. It's true it wasn't easy before. You really had to get on well with the neighbors. Now all that's a lot better, but there's no more room. There can't be nomads anymore. Those times are over. The problem is that now you have to buy lots of things, and everything is expensive. Really too expensive. But that's the way it is. Life changes. I'm going to sing you a Mongol song. The main activity and source of income for the families is the raising of animals. They haven't changed their livestock, and as before, they raise sheep, goats, cows, some chickens, and of course, horses. We do it like before, even if we have less space and we can't move the animals. So, it depends on the year, but sometimes we have to give them extra food. We treat them ourselves, and the vet comes once a year in spring for the compulsory vaccinations. Luckily, our animals don't get sick. They're strong and resistant. They're in good shape. Sai has to feed the calf of their milk cow. The cow is a foreign breed and was bought by his father because of the large amount of milk that the cow produces. Mongol cows only produce just enough milk to feed their calf. I'm blocking his nostrils, or he'll choke. He's a greedy drinker. We're not letting this calf feed off his mother because we're keeping the milk for ourselves. She's been giving us milk for 10 years or so. If we let him feed off her, we couldn't milk our cow anymore because he sucks too hard, and that damages the swollen udders. What's good is that we can still live like we used to, because we've decided not to change everything. We don't want everything to change. Not all Mongols have managed to stay on the land. It's a lot of work and it's hard, like at the moment with all the births. A lot of people preferred to go and find work elsewhere. They sold everything so they could leave, but they're no better off than us now. They earn a little more, but they don't have any animals anymore. Here we're at peace and we can do what we want to. In the towns you get watched. In the morning, the young feed from their mothers, and then we split them up when the adults go and graze in the pastures. Sometimes it happens that there's not a lot of grass because of a drought. Usually, the animals don't get sick, but when they can't find enough to eat, they get weak. You can see it because they get flabby. So we carry them outside and force them to go out. As well, we chop them up herbs, which we mix with eggs, wheat, and a Chinese tonic called jihi. I don't say prayers for them, but it really bothers me when there's a problem. We live thanks to them. Losing an animal is something significant and serious for us. Sai's horses divide themselves up naturally into small groups, according to the herd's social organization around one dominant stallion. The young males group themselves in independent herds. Sai owns an old stallion who has taken power over a large part of the herd and who rules over a group of 15 females. He's very attached to this dominant male who guarantees for him the safety and stability of his herd. 迎风飘扬，马头琴声悠悠祝愿，内蒙古我的家幸福安康。铁木真的勇敢好。 These aren't wild horses because they behave like friends to humans. If I go towards them, they'll come towards me. If it happens that I come to see them late in the evening, they think I'm lost, and they'll go in the direction of the house, so that I can follow them. They take me home and show me the way. I keep the ones which are good at racing, and also the ones with good personalities. Mongol horses should be obedient.